Hey, I realized in my third video I started a story and I didn't finish it, so I'm going to try and finish it now. Before I get into the story, what you got to understand first, the story took place at a very desperate time for me. I literally moved to Atlanta for the simple reason of there is more women to choose from, and therefore I should have a better chance of finding a wife. I moved across country to find a wife. Okay, so you have to understand that's desperate. Now, and I'm still raising my kids, so it was a very rough, very tough decision. But since I was doing real estate, I was free and I had good money at the time. So I knew I only made the choice because I knew I could still be a good dad, which I kept 40% custody. Usually I was at 50%. I managed to keep 40% custody while living on the East Coast between the time I came back and the time that she came to me. And I really needed to get away. So I made the decision to do that. Yeah, I did that for 3 years. And of course, then I came back. And at that point, that's when I took her full time. Um, so just so you understand, at a very desperate time. So I'm crossing the country. Now it takes one day to get through California, Arizona, New Mexico, one day for Texas, huge state, and one day for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So I'm into day two. I'm crossing San Antonio, and I'm seeing these signs that say, "Be careful! Don't hit the woman crossing the road with the kid." Now this is normal. We see this in San Diego, where Mexicans cross the border, and so my mind starts to daydream. Now, I told you this was a very desperate time for me, right? Don't judge. So my mind starts to daydream. And I look out into the desert and I see this fine Mexican girl crossing the desert. And I'm like, what's going on? I mean, she's by herself. I'm looking around. I'm like, there's nobody else around. Just this one fine girl. Now, you could say, well, how fine was she? Well, from a distance, she looked fine enough. And so I'm like, but she's stumbling. And like she's, like you would do in a movie when you're coming out the desert and you got no water, right? And so I'm like, okay, I pull over, figure I gotta help. I'm obligated to help another human being. So I pull over and so she's stumbling, but she's not really stumbling my way. So I had water in the car, so I was trying to get her to come my way. So I'm like, agua, agua, and I'm pouring it out, drinking a little agua, and so she sees the water, and in that state of mind, the only thing her mind probably saw was water, water, and so not danger, danger, just water, water. The danger was was dying of not starvation, but yeah, whatever you call it when you don't have enough water. She didn't see danger, danger. She saw water, water. And so she started walking toward the water. And as she got closer, she was like 30 feet away, this music started playing out of nowhere. Van Halen, Hot for Teacher. I kid you not, I don't know where it came from. I just started hearing, got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm hot for teacher, right? And this girl starts dancing. She rips her shirt open. She's got on this tank top with like it's so much sweat on it from the walk through the desert that it looks soaked like a wet t-shirt contest. And she's dancing like the girl in the video, like got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. She's swinging her hair from side to side, and I'm just going with it. I'm looking at her going, mm-hmm. Teacher needs to see me after school, right? I'm just enjoying it. Don't ask me how it happened, where she get this burst of energy. I don't know. So then, it goes away. The music. I'm looking around. There's like the music stopped, and she stopped, and then she's stumbling again. Back to this, poor girl trying to make it through the desert thing. She gets probably within 15 feet of me, and the scene changed again. It's like the lights went dark, and I hear this music, dun 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 dun, right? And I look at her, and she's got nothing on but a bikini, and this giant snake, like a boa constrictor or something, wrapped around her, and the girl's dancing like Selma Hayek in Dust Till Dawn. And so she's doing the hips and everything, and I'm just going with it. Don't ask me where the snake came from. I don't know. I mean, how the scenes, it was daytime, how it went dark, and there was a spotlight on her doing it, where the bikini came. That's just what's going on. That's trust me, that's what was happening. So then it just stopped, and she became this girl stumbling through the desert again, and then she just fell into my arms. And so I'm looking down at this beautiful girl with this long, wavy black hair, and this wet T-shirt, and I'm like, what do I do? It was like I'm looking around. It's like there's nobody there. I'm looking for family members. I mean, got to be somebody else. So I wait for about 5 minutes. I don't see anybody. And so she passed out. So I pick her up and I put her in the car. Now, before you think I'm kidnapping her, understand I have three choices. I could leave her there, and some other bad person comes and gets her, and who knows what happens to her. Or I leave her there, and the coyotes get her. This is the same option. The coyotes get her at nighttime. Or I could turn her in, and they'll, kick her out of the country. I mean, the girls went through a lot to get here. I just didn't think that was fair to just. I mean, she's gonna just try it again. So, and it could turn out bad the next time. Or option three, because one was leaving her there, two was turning her in. Option three, I help her. I do the human thing. I'm just trying to be kind, trying to be a good person. So I pick her up, like I said, and I put her in a car, and I waited a couple more minutes, looked around. I just couldn't see anybody, so I drove off. Now, so I'm headed home, and she's passed out the whole time. So that one full day to finish up my time through Texas, the rest of that day, and then another day. She's passed out the whole time to get through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. And I'm home in Georgia, my home outside Atlanta. So I take her in the house, and I put her in one of the bedrooms, put her on the bed, and just threw a blanket on top of her. Like, she sleeps like for another day or two, just knocked out. I'm trying to think, what should I do? I mean, who do I call? I can't turn her in. I mean, they'll just kick her out the country, and she's so fine, right? And so I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait. So my mind starts to think, okay, look, Derek, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Um, you know, you just happen to be passing San Antonio at that time when this single girl stumbling through the desert, and then starts doing a striptease act on a pole. Oh, I missed that part, huh? At some point there was a pole and money raining down. That, you're inside my head now. Just go with it. Okay, so I mean, what am I supposed to do? So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just see how it goes. I mean, I'm alone in the house, and I'm lonely, and. So she wakes up and she's startled, and I don't speak Spanish. She don't speak no English, so I type on the computer for the translation online, and I tell her, I found you in the desert. You passed out, and I didn't know what to do. There was nobody around, so I brought you here. You still got your clothes on. I haven't, I'm a good man. I haven't done you any harm. And do you know where your family is? So she types, she got separated from her brothers crossing the desert. And I was like, do you know how to find them? She had an address in Texas. So I'm like, okay, I'll try to, help you find them, but I can't drive back over there. So we'll maybe send them a letter and see if we can get in touch with them. So she's like, okay. So we send a letter and just waited. In the meantime, I just, I told her, this is my house is your house. You can have that room. You got your own bathroom. Eat any of the food you want, and just you're safe. And so she was like, okay. And so we just, kind of talked a little bit past. I had to go to work, and I would leave her at the house and go to work and come back. And, she was seemed to be comfortable. And so she was watching TV, Telemundo or something like that. And so she seemed to be pretty comfortable. So this is going on for like a couple months, and we still didn't get a reply back from the letter. So then, after about 2 months, that's what I started doing. I started, like, when I would leave, I would just give her a kiss on the cheek. And then when I would come back, I would give her a kiss on the cheek. And then about after another month, I would kiss her on the cheek, and I would hug her. Then another month, I would kiss her on the cheek, hug her, and I would slap her on the butt. And she would just, laugh like it was playful. So I'm like, okay, this is going good. So then another month goes by, and I would kiss her on the cheek, I would hug her, I would slap her on the butt, and then I would grab her hand and just, hold her hand and wish her a good day. Then another one goes by, and I would kiss her on the cheek. I'd give her a hug and slap her on the butt and grab her hand and wish her a good day. But then I would pull her in and give her a soft kiss on her lips. Right. So then another month go by, I would do the whole thing again, and but then after I give her a kiss on the lips, I would grab onto her butt, just hold onto it. Right. Now, so that was my way of slowly seducing her. But in addition to that, I'm just treating her good. I mean, we're watching movies together. We're going out to dinner. I'm buying her clothes. And I buy her clothes, and she would just be laughing and smiling and happy. And at first she'd take the clothes and just say thank you, like a shy thank you. But after a few months, I'd buy her some new clothes, or some new shoes, and she would like smile and come jump in my arms, and gracias, and I'm thinking, hey, this is going well. I might not need to go out in Atlanta and find a woman. It's like I found a woman on the way there, and this is good. And then icing on the cake is I start sending her money, giving her money to send home to her family, because she, obviously we hadn't got a response back, and of course I missed it. We did send a second letter, I think around month number 3, still hadn't got any response. So, but I start giving her money to send home, and she really loved me after that. And then one night, she says to me, Senor Derek, I'm going to my room to get in my bed, but I'm not very sleepy. So I'm thinking, well, why would she go to bed and she's not sleeping? I was slow back then. I didn't catch on to women. And so which is why I was probably so desperate I had to go all the way across the country, maybe, just my part in the whole problem. And so she gets in the bedroom, she shouts out, I'm going to be up for a while and I have nothing to do. Maybe you want to keep me company. And then it clicks. I know what's going on. So I go in the bedroom, and so we have sex. And man, I hit it. I wore it out. I hadn't had sex in a minute. So yeah, I didn't have any clients coming to town. So it was like 3 days of sex. It was like, and she seemed really, to enjoy it. I mean, she would say things like, see. So yeah, so, it's all good. It's all good. I'm thinking, okay, but I always told this, as a Christian, I'm feeling guilty. I'm thinking maybe I gotta, get married to her and everything. But I don't. I was wrong. So anyway, but we have kids. We have 2 kids. Everything's going good, for 5 years. And then she starts tripping. She starts becoming Americanized. This thing that you worry about. She starts tripping, and she starts wanting more. And I start saying, and now she speaks English good. And she's like, I think I want more out of life. And I just, I appreciate what you've done for me. And I just, and she's like, me and my boys. I was like, me and my boys. It's like, they're my boys too. And so she started talking like she wanted to leave. And I'm like, okay. So one day, what I did is I gave the boys to a friend to keep for a couple of days, and then I went home, and while she was laying there, I put some chloroform on her mouth. You know, a little like they do in the movies. They chloroform the people when they pass out. And, you know, she did the normal struggle, like, you know, and so then I put her in the car, and I drove back to that same spot in outside San Antonio, and I walked into the desert. I carried her, and I left her right by the border with a blue light. So as it got dark, the light would get the attention of the border patrol. Or I ran back out of the desert, and I kind of waited, and I had my binoculars, and I watched, and sure enough, as soon as it got dark, that light was going, and the border patrol drove up, and they got her, and they put her in the truck, and then they drove off, and they deported her. Now she has no papers, so she can't get back in the country. So much for taking my kids, and you know. So it kind of all worked out. It's not my fault. The situation was so. It's better to love and lost than never love at all, right? I mean, well, it was good. I really cared for her and everything, but you know, Maria, Maria. But what can I do? She was just getting outrageous, talking about, taking half the money I had and stuff like that. And I'm like, we ain't even married. How you gonna? Who taught you this half thing? Anyway, the moral to the story is there is no moral to the story, because remember, this is just a story. It's called Van Life Stories, and I'm just sharing you what my mind was going through for a full day. I started this daydream, I kid you not, probably like you would say sundown, because by the time I would get to, no, it would be like the middle of the day, because I would start off, you get to San Antonio, and, you're going past San Antonio, and it's like the midday. And I literally daydreamed this whole thing all the way into Louisiana, where I would, pull to the side, because I'd made this trip multiple times. I would pull to the side and rest, usually in Louisiana, just outside Louisiana. And yeah, it was just a daydream. No girl dancing on a pole in the desert. Come on. Where would she find a pole in the desert? So anyway, I just shared that story with you. And so the result is I end up having to look for a girl in Atlanta, and that didn't work out. I ended up coming back to California, and I'm still by myself, and I'm living in this van. And apparently I'm going to be alone for a while in this van. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll drive it across country, and I'll get lucky and my dream will come true, and I'll see a girl stumbling out of the desert, and I'll just slide the van door open and say, agua, agua.